Hey everyone, it's Serge from SN3 Gaming. Today I wanted to show you guys my arcade cabinet. I've had this thing for about 4 years now, maybe? Lost track of that, but it's been a while. This arcade cabinet is an extension arcade alphacade made by Rec Room Masters. It comes with everything on here, including the control panel, with the exception of the TV and the computer it's running. You can also use a Raspberry Pi if you wish. They also originally had a setup where you can use your very own arcade boards, or like Super Gun and stuff like that. It even comes with its own arcade buttons and sticks. These are Suzo Hap. Now, normally I will use Sanwa. I prefer Sanwa Denshi arcade sticks and buttons. In fact, with my console arcade stick I use for fighting games, that's what I replaced that entire setup for. I didn't need to do that here because these are actually really good sticks. Now, eventually I might replace the buttons with some LED buttons to give it a little show, but for now these do, and they do really well. The computer that it's running is it's nothing special. I just have a Ryzen 3, I think it's from the 2nd Gen series, and I also have a 1050 Ti, which is enough to run some PlayStation 3 games. Now, of course, it's not going to run Red Dead Redemption here, but it runs some of the arcade games that I got from there, from PlayStation 3's emulator, so it works out well. The TV, it's actually a TV. It's a flat panel TV, 19-inch Insignia, and it comes with its own speakers, so I don't have to worry about getting any, speakers additionally. The one thing that did kind of annoy me was originally I went with the TV size that Rec Room Masters recommended, but as you can see, there's a lot of space in between, which I didn't know that until then, because I bought all the parts first before I got the cabinet, because the cabinet took a couple of months to arrive. But if I had known that, I would have gotten something a little bigger. They did eventually update their recommendation size to 21-inch, but so I wish I had known that. That's something I will eventually work on replacing, but the issue being was that it's a bit of a challenge to put on, because this whole entire panel is one piece, and aligning it with the rest of the cabinet took me several tries. It was not easy. As you can see, it's running a front end, which is big box. I am a big fan of big box and launch box. They pretty much can, all you got to do is put in your games and your emulators and link them up, and they take care of everything else for you. It does require a licensing fee to use Big Box and to keep getting updates, but I think it's pretty well worth it in my opinion. You can get a 1-year license, or you can get a lifetime license, and I think the lifetime license is fairly affordable. Like, you just get one and you're done, and you just keep getting the updates, and they're constantly updating and adding innovative ways to update your cabinet. And you don't have to use it just for an arcade cabinet. I mean, you can use it for your gaming in general. Back to the arcade sticks. The board that these sticks are connected to is an iPac board. The thing that I did have to do for that was that by default the iPac board was defaulted as a keyboard setup, which was fine for the emulators, but when I was trying to run the Steam games, it wouldn't register player 2. So I had to reflash the iPac board to have it as 2 controllers, because it's also one USB cable, which is great for, like, limited USB space. But with when you flash it as two controllers, then Steam would automatically pick it up as two Xbox controllers. So that solved a lot of great problems. And I eventually, yeah, and like I said, it runs Steam games. I do have a bunch of Steam fighting games on here. I'm a big fighting game fan. I mean, I've been playing at arcades since I was a kid, and I was always a big fan of the, you go to these rundown looking arcades and you see the cabinets are like a little, worse for wear on the outside. But eventually, but you see the games that they're playing is the latest fighting game. And it's one of the fighting games, and of course, and you see that the controllers are well taken care of and everything. So clearly, the focus of the owners were, the games and the controls, and making sure those are in great shape. So I was always a big fan of going to those type of arcades. I also liked, going to the Time Out and the Planet Funds and, the Dave and Buster's type of arcades. And a lot of those games, I have those set up on my rig. But for now, for here, it's mostly just, the old school arcade games, like a lot of the fighters, and then you got the Simpsons arcade game, Turtles, X-Men, those games that, I grew up playing and spent a lot of money. And, my dream as a kid was like, man, I wish I had an arcade cabinet in my house to play these games anytime. And now I finally do have it. And this is a cool setup. Unfortunately, Rec Room Masters no longer exists. They went out of business, I think, about a little over a year ago. Though, while I was sad at first, they said some things that was not too kind as to why they went out of business. So I'm kind of, not feeling bad that they went out of business. But there are so many, different companies out there where you can buy the cabinets. Like Game Room Solutions, they have a 3/4 size. And, of course, some of these places have, full-size arcade cabinets. But if you prefer, a 3/4 size because you have limited space, Game Room Solutions is a great place to do that, and they can provide you a lot of customization. There's of course Arcade 1-Up, where you can modify an Arcade 1-Up cabinet, and there are hundreds and hundreds of ways to do so. And the modding community is so big to get the arcade cabinet of your choice. You can just, and you wouldn't even have to buy their most expensive one. You can just buy something that's on sale, really cheap on sale, and just gut it and do everything you need. You can even keep their monitors set up, and just go on Amazon and get everything you need there. I do plan on doing a lot of upgrades to this. Of course, the monitor being one of them. There is a site where I'm going to buy a marquee that is a LCD marquee that's going to replace this. Actually, I'm just going to put the LCD marquee over this and just drill holes into this and just let it hold that way. And that way, when I have whatever game I'm playing, the marquee will show on top of the game. And then I plan on getting some artwork on the sides as well. I'm not sure if I want to have an established game or if I just want to do something custom. Because, maybe my favorite fighting game ladies or something else. And of course I'm going to do something with this, put a skin over here too. As you can see, I'm a big fighting game fan. Here's my Felicia on Hell. And then, of course, I went to MagFest, and I found this great artist who had this cool setup. So I bought, a set like this. He had, multiple, characters. So I wanted to do a Capcom versus SNK setup. And then I got these keychains here. Or charms from some artists. And this was made by a friend of mine. I'm also a big old school game fan, so I have a lot of the mini consoles. I still want to get one of these for real, like a Astro City arcade cabinet. Don't have the room for it, but you know, whenever we do move, we'll cross that bridge. I got more art up here. But yeah, because I also want a virtual pinball machine, and they got some great ones out there that I would love to check out. But I just don't have the space, because this is in a corner. Like, let me go all the way back and let me show you how far we are. So here's my arcade cabinet. Here's the rig. And then here's the space over here. And, you know, of course, the solution could be, oh, I could move these out, but where am I going to move them? Because I have no other space to move these guys. And I want to keep my pop collection, and just keep all this stuff here. So, you know, that's going to be something that I will have to think about in the future, you know, whenever we do get a new house, whenever we do move. Don't know when that's going to be, but I'm sure it'll come eventually. Now there's also, you know, I'm not going to really get into further details on how everything, or tutorials on how to get this set up. There's a lot of, I have a friend who does some great videos of how to get things done. His name is Brad D. I will link his YouTube on the description. He is a big, you know, he's a big fan. He's modified a bunch of arcade 1-up stuff. He's got games from like shooting games to gun games to racing games to Star Wars style flight games. You know, he's got it all set up nicely, and if you watch his videos, they're really cool. He's even got ways where you can play some of these games on your TV, so you don't even need an arcade cabinet to play some of them. So I'll link that to you. And yeah, that's about it. You know, this is my arcade cabinet, man, and I do really enjoy it. And you know, I enjoy it more when I have friends over, because you know, we can always play a bunch of these games together. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you can do me a favor, please like and subscribe. I currently have a charity I started up on the description also. If you could please donate, possibly. It is for Children's National Hospital, their foundation. They have supported my family and done a lot for my family throughout the years. So if you could please donate to that. I'm trying to have a $2,000 goal for it. And if you know, you're not obligated, and I'm not going to make people say, oh, you got to do it. If you are able to, you know, cool, that would be great. But if not, you know, no pressure. You know, don't worry about it. But that's it for this video. And again, you guys take care, and have a good one. See you. Bye.